No, I'm shutting it down tomorrow. I'm shutting Precision Retrofits down tomorrow. All right. Are you situated over here? All right. We are back with the build room. Hunter here. I'm with Evan and Kenny. It's been a couple of weeks since we've actually been in this room all together.
Since Kenny and I were on one, it's been a minute.
Spent too much extra money on this not to use this room more. So
true.
But it's been for good reasons, right? We've been busy. I think the last podcast we came out with was one I just did with Shane Bowers. So if you want to listen to that, you can go listen to that one if you haven't already. But anyways, we're back with another episode of us three sitting in a tiny room together talking about random stuff. So part of the reason we haven't been recording as much is because we've been busy. So that's a good thing.
Right.
Right, Evan?
Right. Very good.
So that's part of the reason. And I'm sure a lot of people appreciate that we're working. I mean, we're starting a little early today, so that's a good thing. So we still got lots to do. Don't get us wrong. But what have you been up to, Evan?
As far as work goes, working on a dang motorcycle headlight.
Mm-hmm.
That's been kind of annoying. Had to sandblast. It was like tinted red and then smoked over the tint. So we had to sandblast all the way down through the tint, through the red film. So it was kind of annoying. And then I had to sand it 5 different times yesterday.
We're trying to preserve the lens.
Yeah. And, motorcycle lights aren't our specialty.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's the same process as a regular headlight.
It's just a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's not that much bigger. It's
more
just
oddly shaped.
Yeah, it's a different shape.
Weirder corners, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But it was fun. Got it done. And then taking apart headlights, doing all amber lighting in some headlights.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of a big thing at the moment.
Yeah, a couple of those for sure. Yeah. Yep. Lots of online orders.
Yep.
It's been good. So appreciate everyone keeping us busy with online orders. Mm-hmm. And then we've had a decent amount of in-shop stuff too, which Kenny, it's what you've been up to.
Yeah. No, we had if you go to any local, I don't know if I actually want to advertise this, but if you go to any local like food truck stops or setups, you may see some of our work out there. La Abajita. I don't know if you Abajita. I don't know how you say it. I'm sorry. I don't speak Spanish. But yeah, friends of ours bought a 29-foot trailer or something like that, food truck trailer.
Mm.
And it's been sitting here for about 2 months because China wouldn't give us the wrap that we ordered. So, but yeah, finally got that wrapped in a nice, what would you say the color is, Ev?
Probably like
pastel.
Yeah, pastel yellow.
Yeah, like
I was gonna say mustard, but it's
like a honeycomb pastel.
Yeah, soft
yellow
to be
soft
mustard.
It's like a goldish color. I don't know. But yeah, got that all wrapped up and it's sitting outside waiting to be picked up, I believe, today.
That's planned.
And yeah, done some PPF, done the, regular take apart trucks, put them back together, try not to make Jared mad.
Jared always gets mad. Whenever you have to touch his paint, even if it's been cured for like 3 weeks, he gets mad.
Just so you know, if you do send us your stuff and you're like, I wonder if they actually care and they handle our stuff with care. Jared, all of us do. Jared very much cares about the quality of his paint. He's a very good painter.
Mm-hmm.
And that is one of the things that makes him a very good painter. He gets very upset if there's anything wrong with his paint. So,
it's true.
If you want to know.
Yes, he keeps wanting me to buy more and more equipment so that he can
Jared gets lots
perfect his paint.
Yeah.
More and more that. So
Jared gets the most new toys out of the shop. And when I get new toys,
speaking of toys,
when I get new toys, they don't work.
Yeah, speaking of toys, we did buy a cutter. I think last time we talked,
we bought the one.
We bought the one that we were talking about. It's not.
No, it sucks.
Not it.
It was expensive, and it looks legit. Like
looks very nice.
When we read like the stroke per
The
whatever.
vibrations.
Yeah, vibrations per second or whatever, and it was higher than the one we have now,
Mhm.
and then it just won't cut
No,
through anything.
unfortunately.
Don't
So
make them like they used to.
Yeah, apparently not.
yeah. So it was worth a shot. I gotta talk to the rep and say, sorry, this is not
Send that back.
going to work. So if any of you were curious about how that ended out, I was kind of disappointed.
Yeah,
because
me
I thought it
too.
was going to be legit, and then Evan wouldn't have to
Mhm.
complain anymore about his cutter not
Listen.
working, which I get. I totally understand.
I wouldn't complain if it
I
wasn't
know.
a issue.
I totally get.
It
I get it.
sucks.
If it wasn't something we used every day,
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. We're still trucking along with the little old guy.
I
I could get another one of those.
I literally have to stop and let it cool down and give it a break. I mean, maybe if we had two, I could just alternate back and forth.
Yeah.
We need an R&D department to develop our own.
Yeah.
We need to figure out somehow.
We'll
That's
try
my
to keep looking for
expectation.
another cutter, but if we find it and use it, we will update you on that one.
Yep.
And
We did get a sandblaster.
yeah.
Also,
True. Got
I
that
set up.
set up.
That was
But-
one thing I was messing with the last couple of weeks, was setting up our blast cabinet. Good sized blast cabinet, so we can actually fit decent amount of stuff, which we should have done for a long time. We normally just hand sand a lot of stuff, and would sandblast from very rare time to time. But this is it'll be better for paint adhesion on a lot of pieces, and really quicker in a lot of ways.
Mhm.
You know, because like you sandblasted stuff yesterday, and it went quicker than
Texture plastics.
yeah, and
a lot faster.
it's gonna overall be a better product. So we're always improving here, right?
Yeah.
We're always taking the next step so that we can provide
Right.
proper equipment.
Still waiting
Proper
on that
products.
oven.
Yeah, we we have not set up anything for powder coating yet. One of the things I'm probably gonna do soon, if I can find one that works well, is probably a second spray booth, because
Instead of the powder coat.
no, we're gonna do both.
Oh,
but
okay.
I mean, we have everything to set powder coating. We just need to do it.
Yeah.
It's just the time.
Yeah. So
There are a few other things we need, but
yeah, there are a few other things, but yeah, it's part of the reason we just been busy, so we haven't had the extra time to build stuff, which is good. But maybe here in the next couple of weeks we'll find time, or we'll just continue to be busy. We'll see. So anyways, yes, we have so much, and we have a good sized paint booth, but we just have one paint booth right now, and it works really well, all that sort of stuff. It's 27 feet long, but when you're using a 27-foot paint booth to spray one headlight, it's a little ineffective. Inefficient, I guess it's effective, just inefficient. And so we're gonna have hopefully a secondary booth that's 4 pieces such as that, where you just have singular pieces, so that Jared can reduce the amount of downtime he's waiting for his cure times to
Go back to the
occur.
old shop.
we used to have two.
No, no, we
We
didn't.
used to have 2 booths.
And they were, it was nice, because it was like, oh, we need this one thing done, but he's spraying something else. We'll
Mhm.
pop it in the second one. So yes, we'll kind of probably have to go back to that, so that large projects can continue to stay in the paint booth, because there's always stuff waiting to be painted, which is just the nature of what we do. So anyways, all good things.
Yeah.
All good things thus far. So
It's good to be busy.
yeah, it is. It is. And just it's getting to be nicer outside. So
Shorts weather.
shorts weather, which is great.
Mhm.
We went golfing a couple weeks ago
Mhm.
and had a great time in the canyon. It was a good
Mhm.
golf trip.
I
Kenny,
won.
I don't know this
Evan
year.
left early, actually.
I
Yeah,
had
you
to
did.
leave
Evan
2
left on the
holes early.
15th hole.
It was my mother's birthday.
I broke my putter head,
Yeah, that's true.
not because I got mad.
You were baseball
I
swinging.
was trying to yeet a golf ball to the top of the canyon, which isn't possible, because the canyon, I'm pretty sure, is like 300. It's probably like 400 or 500 feet above my head, but
with your putter, nonetheless.
with my putter, yeah, because I was on the putting green, and I made really good contact. It just happened to be with the like the hosel neck area, and I'm pretty sure the putter head actually went farther than the ball.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Evan missed that part.
I did. Unfortunately, I heard about it the next day. I feel like I missed out. Those last 3 holes were the most entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, it was good.
Hunter was actually on the phone for most of one of
Mine
the last
too.
I don't
times.
know what are you doing?
Nothing.
You broke something.
He
No.
broke his mic.
I didn't break.
Yeah, so that was fun. That was we'll have to go golfing again. We'll go golfing again here soon. But we're getting to that weather. We're in the nice stage of that though, because excuse you, because it's not hot yet in the summer where you're like, I don't really want to be outside during the middle of the day. And so you don't really go golfing because you don't have time or whatever it is that you like to do outside. So this weekend is Memorial Day, I think.
Yep.
It is.
Well, I guess Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So
what are you doing?
I don't know, probably building stuff.
That's dumb.
Same here. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm camping and finishing.
You're going camping?
Yeah, and fishing. Yeah.
Where?
Rose Riff.
Nice.
I'm gonna bring my camper out there.
When are you leaving?
Probably either Friday night or Saturday.
Nice.
And then we'll fish through the night.
All night.
Fish all day.
Wow.
You gonna bring back some fish for work?
Yeah, I mean, if we got some.
Smoke it if you ever get your smoker fixed.
Are you just going by yourself?
No. That would be depressing.
I would do that.
If I did that, I would cry, bro.
I wouldn't even cry. That would be so.
That's true. Just fish and
just fish by yourself.
Camp by yourself.
Yeah,
that would be nice. But no, I'm going with some family.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
You know, I'm gonna try to build a playhouse. So
that sounds fun.
Or at least
like your
like
architecture and construction combining into you build it and design it all in one.
Well, I have the blueprints already. I have all the materials. I just need actual.
Was it the one that you showed us a couple weeks ago?
Probably.
I think
maybe.
I remember you showing it.
Yeah, there's a place online you can buy like just blueprints for a playhouse, and then it tells you everything to buy for it, so that you don't have to guess what's worst for me, and then you just gotta actually do the work. So, anyways, I've had that stuff for a while, and my kids keep asking me to build it. So that's probably a good chunk of what I'll end up doing. So yeah, I'm excited for the weekend.
So nice not working on Monday.
It'll be a good weekend. I know. I feel like it's been a minute since we haven't since. Because when was the last actual holiday we had?
New Year's.
Was it really?
I think it was New Year's that we didn't work.
Because I mean, you have like, I'm trying to think of holidays. You have
like Valentine's Day.
Yeah, but that's not off. But I'm talking like government holidays. So you have like MLK, right?
We worked.
Right, and then we had Columbus or Indigenous peoples.
Right, we worked.
And then
we don't get very many days off.
Baseball season. Still
we work. What do you say? Training opening days.
Opening day baseball season.
Yep, we should have got that one off.
Should have got that one.
That would have been
nice. Jared's birthday.
We still
worked
that one.
We got donuts.
Yeah, true.
Anyways, so I guess it has been almost 6 months since we've had a.
This is how it was in high school, though. Remember?
Yeah.
This was the longest part
of
a
stretch. Well, but you get spring break.
But no, I mean, yeah, but like from January until spring break, that was the longest amount of time you went consecutively without a day off in school.
Yeah.
It's like 3 months.
Yeah. So, and then you'll get Memorial Day, and then you get 4th of July. Yeah. Anyways, so
we need Juneteenth off.
Oh, I'll be gone. I'm going to San Diego.
Oh shoot! Well, we're taking that day off.
It's a Friday.
At my
we're going finishing
at the government job, the dirt job place. They gave me a paid day off.
A paid day off?
Yeah, you got paid vacation days. So I got paid to stay home on Juneteenth.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
My wife used to.
You're not getting that.
Well,
what?
Okay. All right.
But yeah, I'm gonna go to San Diego.
Yeah,
I'll be partying on that.
We'll have a good time.
Have fun with that at the ballpark. Juneteenth.
No, it's not on. I'm not going to the game on Juneteenth. It's like the next Monday or something.
No.
But I'm gonna go to a Padres game. I'm very excited about that. And a couple other things. So it'll be a good time. About a month from now.
San Diego Zoo.
Yeah, I've been there before a couple times. I'm trying to think. I don't know. We'll go to the beach, get some. I mean, it should be perfect weather.
Yeah.
June in San Diego. Anyways, so I guess that's kind of all that's happening. We can do maybe some more sports towards the end, but we're going to get into a main topic of discussion today.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Which I know everyone's dying to know.
Everybody.
Because it's been so long of what our main topic of discussion is today. So I actually was thinking of this in light of the podcast that I did with Shane last time, where kind of asking him about his business and all that he's kind of gone through and done in order to get to where he is, all that sort of stuff. So the thought I had was never actually kind of really explained now that we're almost 10 years into business, which is crazy, honestly.
It'll be 10 years in what?
Technically January.
Say
Oh.
next year.
Yeah, it's 2017. But as we'll see, it's, kind of been a little bit before that. So, anyways, I was kind of thinking like maybe do a little bit of the backstory and then a little bit of the history so that people that are new or have, just
people
found us.
you fired.
Yeah. To be fair, I don't know
can
if I
shout
actually
'em out.
fired anybody. Except unless it was like my brother-in-law who I don't know that I actually fired him. It was just more of
Who?
like Parker.
Oh, yeah. I was like, what?
Not the other one.
Yeah. But anyways, we're gonna get into that a little bit. So I thought it would be helpful if we do kind of the history of Precision Retrofits.
Yeah.
So I feel like we need a theme song here. Do. Right?
Yep.
That's
Okay.
about as good as I get.
We need to make a Precision theme song.
Yeah, I have one for the podcast,
That's
but
true. It could
anyways.
just be
Also, well,
Jared.
we'll get into that later. Okay. So, for starters,
Mhm.
I guess I'm not gonna really try to do too much about like the history
over there, huh?
the history of me. Yeah, you can turn that. I'm not gonna do too much about like the history of me or anything. Just more like
Yeah, nobody cares about
I know, but some of this does kind of revolve around that because just starting the business and whatnot. So we're gonna go back to
that's fair.
about 2014, 2015. That
Dang.
time frame. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So 2014, I would have been junior or senior, I guess, depending on the time of year. I would have been a senior in the fall
Mm-hmm.
of 2014.
In high school.
Yeah. And I always kind of had this, kind of, I don't know. I mean, a group on a farm was one thing, but I kind of always had starting to get into like when you got my driver's license, all that sort of stuff, had a pull for wanting customized vehicle or something like that. I always kind of did. And
did you ever want to go into farming?
Yeah, that was actually the goal, was to
Okay.
actually
Right.
do something with farming. But we'll get into kind of like why that changed. But yes, like 2014 when I was graduating, I was like, oh, I'm gonna do farming. And I went to college for a couple years and did business management, entrepreneurship, with the idea of doing financial stuff for farm. Because, like I said, my family farms. So that was kind of the goal / main idea. Well, like I said, I always kind of even through high school and then past graduating, I had just I enjoyed customizing and like doing like hands-on projects and stuff like that. Specifically vehicles, that sort of thing. So, we do have some pictures here that I'm going to pull up. So if you're not watching, you can watch, but if not, I'll try to explain it. Well, I guess I got to import all these. So yeah, I have some pictures here. So if you want to, it's my son's birth announcement. Okay, so I'm going to pull this up on the screen. If you want to watch, you're more than welcome to pull up the YouTube stream or whatever it is, but I'll explain the picture if not. So, okay, so right here, first thing we have here is, this was probably like 2014, 2015, sometime in there. I think it was in high school, or may have, yeah, I think it was. So this is a 2008 Jeep Wrangler that I had bought in high school. I think I was a junior when I first bought it. I don't know why, but I really wanted a Jeep. And that I found a 08 and I bought it in Salt Lake. That's where I found it for, I think it was a decent deal. And I think, I'm trying to think how, yeah, that was like 2014-ish time frame. Okay. And it was bone stock when I bought it, all that sort of stuff. I think one of the first things I did was throw these rock stars. Some people call them cock stars.
Yep. I can see it.
Wheels. And they were 22-inch wheels, which really in 2014 was still kind of a little foreign to a lot of people because people were still very much so on the smaller wheel, bigger tire mindset. It was kind of moving towards a little bit bigger wheel, smaller tire mindset. But I found these off Marketplace or whatever it was. I think it was actually Craigslist at the time. I don't know how big Marketplace was back then, but I found them on Craigslist, and I didn't even lift it. Like right here in this picture, it's lifted like 4 inches, I think is what I ended up doing. And I hadn't even lifted it when I first put these on, so I was just rocking 35s and 22s on a stock level Jeep Wrangler. So that was kind of like one of the first things that that I did and I started into. And so this thing took many different iterations. Is that my saying that? Iterations. Sorry, I don't know why I'm saying iterations of this Jeep Wrangler that I had owned. And it was actually Jeeps, if you're not familiar, they're really nice because they're super easy to tinker on because they're simple. Even the suspension, all that sort of stuff is very easy and simple to mess with and change, all that sort of stuff. So, like I said, this thing took on lots of different forms. This was one of them. At some point, I switched to smaller wheels and then bigger tires, which is more apropos for a Jeep, in my opinion.
The bumper looks way better in my opinion.
Swap the bumper, yeah, it definitely. Swap the bumper, swap the grill. This was the era for me of Plasti Dip. So if you ever use Plasti Dip, I did Plasti Dip on a lot. I think the grill was entirely Plasti Dipped here because it was chrome in that other picture. And this one, it's black with some red accents. I found this bumper, I think, Craigslist again. So that sort of stuff. This was another form that it took. So this is like the beginning of kind of my wanting to do stuff. And then, which will come into play like even just now when we get to that stage of it. But yeah, this is just, again, another form of it. Same wheels, but, different bumper. Light bar on the top of the windshield was huge. Like, that was an awesome thing. But all this stuff I did, unless I like, mounting wheels and tires. I had the tire shop too. But like the bumper, even painting this stuff, again, I think I Plasti Dipped a lot of this stuff. Painting, installing, all that sort of stuff was.
And this was just out of your garage, huh?
Yeah, or I'm like, because you see back here, there's some shops and whatnot. And so that's in there, or like, and we'll see as we get to it here in a bit. My dad had a shop that I used and worked out of when I was in high school because I still lived with my parents, as most people do in high school. So anyways, that was kind of like the beginning of it. And I genuinely enjoyed working on vehicles like this. And so that was kind of why are you okay over there?
Yeah.
He dropped his toy.
I dropped my spring.
That was kind of why I had like this desire to kind of get more into this. So what are your thoughts of right now? Like back then?
Like of this?
Yes. Yeah. Like what would you have been like? Oh, you're kind of, your style is
of the Jeep or
yeah,
of
just
like
of me or the Jeep or whatever. So
yeah. No. I mean, it was obviously different. I feel like it wasn't huge in 2015 to, deck out your daily like that. Like if people were doing this to a Jeep, it was because they were going off-roading or whatever. But like even the last picture, it was, you had a sick Jeep in high school.
Yeah.
Like most kids are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I think a lot of guys want a Jeep at some point.
Yeah. And you like, it was sick. And I was always, I was in elementary at that point. And when I'd see Hunter drive in his sick Jeep, I'd be like, oh, that's a sick Jeep. I want that Jeep.
Evan and I did. We've known each other for a long time.
Yep.
We've known Kenny since he married somebody else that we've known for a long time. So, so anyways, yeah. So that was like that era, that age of 20.
It's cool. It's a cool process when you just like kind of started and you just were doing stuff by yourself.
Yeah.
And didn't, take it to places to get stuff done.
Yeah. That was the thing. I guess I could have, but also I kind of was
doing that.
Well, I kind of was and still am in some ways a cheapskate, and so I was like, I don't want to pay somebody else to do this when I know I enjoy doing it and also too could do it, because like
if you have the means to do it.
If a lot of what set up what we even have here now is because of the fact that I was able to use a shop that my dad had and like rent that from him and then actually start to Because,
Yeah.
you know, if you just have, which a lot of people work out of the garage too, which is very possible. You know, there's other businesses that
Tint and wrap
you'll talk
shops, a
to.
lot of
Yeah.
them, they start
They
out of
start in their
garage.
parents' garage or their parents' shed out back. And it's like,
They start wrapping their friend's car for $500.
Yeah. And it's nowhere near its final form. But, anyways, it's a starting point. So, anyways, that's 2014. This right here, this is probably the first lighting retrofit I think that I could find that I did. Okay. So this is a fog light for a truck. And I'll show you here in a bit, which it's F-150, I think is what it was. But, for some reason, I think I saw somewhere that, somebody else on like a forum, like forums were big. I was on forums a lot back then. And somebody had done this where they did LED rectangle light on a fog light, and I was like, that's cool, I want to do that. So I ordered the light itself, used the factory fog light, and installed that. So this
was the light like built for the fog light?
No, it was a factory fog light.
Just
yeah, well, not necessarily. It was just ended up it was somehow the same size as what it worked, so it worked really well in there. So like this was probably 2015 sometime, probably what it was. So I would have been graduating high school and then going into college. But that was like one of the first things. This right here is, from what I can remember, the first headlight retrofit I ever did. And this was, again, just part of wanting to do custom stuff and wanting to do it myself for my own vehicle. So I bought a F-150, a 2015, and the end of, it was when I first started in college, is what it was. I was working on the farm, so that was all of this, like, growing up. And that was another thing. I had an easy access to a job because I grew up on a farm. And so I worked on a farm and was able to earn money from that. And then also to have means to do stuff such as this. So, which very blessed to be able to have even done that. But yeah, so like this is, I remember seeing retrofits like this on forums and stuff like that. And then like kind of slowly getting into what this actually was. Of like, oh, that's kind of cool. I want to, for whatever reason, just start kind of hopping into that, for my own personal stuff. So this is, you know, probably very much so rattle canned.
Yeah, look at that paint job.
Look at that.
Look at that. Look at the it's my cursor. I don't know if it won't let me zoom in, but there we go. Yeah, look at that. Look at that orange peel.
Yeah.
With some halos around the projector. So 2015 style F-150. But like I enjoyed doing this, and it was cool. It was like a one-off thing that I had never seen really anybody else do, all that sort of stuff. Okay. So that was probably like one of the first things. And this was, again, 2015, probably, in that. This is where it really started kind of do more and more custom stuff, is around that time frame. Then, so like this was the truck that I had.
I mean, that looks sick.
Yeah, that's the one that, it was 2015 F-150, silver. It was like an XLT, so it was pretty stock with chrome everywhere, all that sort of stuff. And then did the headlights. You know, you could, I don't even remember putting this graphic on the hood on there, but at some point it did that. So that,
you got a light bar in the front.
Yeah, light bar, of course.
Yeah.
I put tow mirrors on it because it didn't come with tow mirrors from the factory. I think I rattle canned the F-150 badges on the side. So it was
there's your square fog light right there.
Can you see it on there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's at the bottom.
Hold on, let me see. I gotta move. Oh, yes, you can kind of see it in here. Let me. You can kind of see it down here. Yeah, there's. Oh, I think at some point I actually put in like a separate kind of a light. It was like a pod.
One, yeah,
it was like a pod that I put inside there. Lots of, like, I was
just finding out what works.
Yeah, it was just a lot of tinkering around. So, anyways, you get that, and then this was like one of the first things I think I found where I actually did something for somebody else. So, it was like just posting that stuff on forums, and then people would ask like, "Hey, where'd you get those lights or whatever?" And I was like, "Oh, I actually did them." And I think it started turning into the people was like, "Oh, could you do it for me?" sort of thing. Not that there weren't other like businesses that were doing it out there. It was just people saw it and they're like, "Oh, I want that same thing or something like it," and then they would come to us or come to me, I guess, because it was literally just me hobbying around. This, now that I'm thinking about it, is actually, I did this. This was the first set of like legit work I did. And then I put these on that silver F-150. Now that I'm thinking of it, which makes sense because they're silver and black.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember though too, like these lights being, when I saw these on the F-150 and saw them customized, I was like, those look awesome. Like just the design of them, the way that you can customize them with the paint, all that sort of stuff here. I was like, I want to do those. And so then that was another thing. I did these, and then I think this was one of the things I posted, and people were like, oh, that looks super cool. I have the same lights. Can you do it to mine? So this one right here, I think, was one of the very first ones that I ever did for somebody else. Like an actual customer paid me to do something. And I was like, oh, this, like, if people are actually wanting this done, I don't mind this being like a side job, because I was still working on the farm. So it's very easy. And you'll see that, like, I'll show a picture of what, where I was actually doing all this work, quote unquote, work in. But yeah, this is kind of one of the first things, you know, they looked good and solid. It was just like, I think starting out was very much so like people were just were willing to say, I guess, like, you can do this pretty well. I guess it looks good enough. I'll pay you to do it, sort of thing.
How were you getting the lights open? Were you just baking them?
Yeah, and that was just process of learning and like forums and I mean, I don't really think I broke anything too much. These are easy, this style, actually, so that was helpful. But yeah, just learning off other people online and baking these ones, and that's how it kind of started out, was doing those. And I remember actually the oven we have in here now, that was the oven that was in my parents' house when I started doing this. I like the very first lights I did would have been in that oven.
In the kitchen oven.
Yeah. In my mom's kitchen, putting lights in the oven and literally prying lights apart on the kitchen counter. So
nice.
It was a time to be had. So that was one of the first lights I did, F-150 black and red. They looked, I mean, I still think those lights look awesome, especially when they're done up. So, and then, so like, this is the set. I think this was one for another customer. I believe it was just the same exact style as what I had in the F-150 that I had. Now, if you look back here, you can kind of see a logo on the wall. So this would have been, this was probably 2015 going to 2016, or sorry, this would have been like 2016, I guess. And so on this picture here that I'd taken, I couldn't find an actual like file that I had of this. What I did, because I was mostly doing F-150s, because that's what I had and that's what the forums, that's what I was on as far as forums. And so that's what I was doing for other people. I was like, whoa, this just makes sense to call it F-150 Retrofits. And so that was the name of the very unlegit business, was F-150 Retrofits. And I think, I don't even remember designing this. I think this was like before Canva was a thing. This was obviously before AI or anything. I think this was like a Word document logo that I made here, where I stole the F-150 badge. Yeah. And then just put the word retrofits underneath it with some sort of light beams behind it.
That's funny.
That works.
Hey, it works.
We should. I feel like if I find this file, we should blow it up and just put it on.
You could do like a throwback T-shirt and put that logo on the back. That'd be funny.
Yeah. So yeah, this was like the first thing. I was like, okay, I could actually make some money out on this. Oh, I guess the picture in this January 2017. Yeah, 2017. So, so yes, this was very much so. Now I'm gonna switch here for a second. The camera that I'm looking at. So I can't see this. So the shop that was working out of, again, like I said, it was one of a shed that my dad had in the backyard. And this is, I'll pull it up here. This is it. Okay. It was like a 20 by 20 shed, and we had it as like a little gym is what it was. Cause I was big into working out and fitness and all that sort of stuff in high school. And, so yeah, we had a gym set up in here. Me and my brother worked out there a lot. All this sort of stuff. We were both kind of into it. And so then it started slowly turning. I was like, oh, I could use this space and my dad was like, sure, you can put a table in there and work on stuff. And so you can even see like the logo, which
Little tiny
we'll
logo
get
on the
into
front.
here in a second. But yeah, the logo is still on the door to this day. So yeah, 2017, that time frame. I just took this picture recently, but it looks the same as what it did when we were doing stuff in there. So anyways, that was kind of where and what I was working out of was that. And then this is when you get into, so come 20, yeah, it would have been 2017, like January, February of 2017. I remember being like, okay, I'm actually going to go for this. And because wintertime was easy for farming to have another hobby because it was like, you don't do anything. So that's when it actually started to ramp up, was that winter there. And I remember telling who was my girlfriend at the time, which is now my wife, I was like, I think I'm actually going to do some of this for people just to make some extra money.
How'd you come up with that logo?
Well, so then, yeah, so this was, like I said, first it was called the F-150 Retrofits.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, this is very much so narrows our target audience. And so I remember in college too, we did a class where it was like a case, what would it be called? It wasn't a case study. It was just like a, where you do something where it's just like an experimental kind of thing. And our teacher had us create a hypothetical business. And so you did that and then created the name, did the business structure, all this sort of stuff. And I, in the back of my mind, kind of had like, well, I'm kind of doing this. Might as well just like, even though it's not a legit business yet, might just try to make it something that where it could be. And so I went through, she was like, write down a list of names for business names that you would like to name it. And then with a bunch of other stuff. And I think this was one of the words at the time. I was like, oh, it makes sense if we were, doing lights and stuff like that. And doing it well. I mean, it's pretty simple, pretty common business name, Precision. And then Retrofits, which still like as a little bit at the time and kind of still is catered towards just lights. But I mean, to retrofit something just means to change it from its original form to something else. So really that's what we do with everything. So it still encompasses everything that we do. So that's where this kind of came from. And then I was like, for the logo, I remember, I think I hired a guy on Fiverr. So if you ever use Fiverr, the website, it's just a freelance, like you pay 10, 15 bucks and you're like, hey, can you design me a logo? And we went through a couple different iterations of it. And I wanted the P and the R to be connected for whatever reason. This is stuck with it. And then I was like, well, the little light emitting part here is what it is. I was like, it'd be kind of cool if there's just a hidden way, it kind of shows in just the logo itself that we do lighting sort of thing, or just have something tied to that. And so so that's kind of where it came from. I was like, what if we just put like a little kind of looks like a bulb there and then have it tied into the P? And so yeah, that's kind of where the guy designed it, and I was like, cool. And we've stuck with it, and at some point maybe we'll rebrand or rename, but I mean, I think it encompasses all that
it
we do.
works.
So, but yeah, that was the first. Yeah, I mean, we still have this logo today. It's gone through different, small changes, but for the most part, this is it right here. So and this was 2017. Okay, this was like probably January, February, March, sometime in there of 2017. So almost 10 years ago, did this. And then that's when it actually is like, okay, this is going to be legit business. Do all the stuff you need to do, file it with the state, all that. So any questions?
Nope.
Okay.
Looks good.
Is this entertaining?
Yeah.
This time?
At this time,
2017.
2017, I would have been 15.
Okay. So yeah, and I
would have been going into.
I was 19.
Freshman year.
Yeah.
I was in the spring of my senior year of high school.
Yeah, I would have been 20 actually. 19 going into 20. Yeah.
Because you were a senior and I was in 7th grade, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, 2017, circa 2017. This was so like this picture here. Was one of the very first SEMA builds that we did. That this guy, he's a good buddy. His name's Josh. He's in Texas. But I remember reaching out on Instagram and stuff like that and saying, hey, if you want your lights done, essentially I think for free. And so I did those. I think I did mirrors and stuff too. So this was SEMA 20, I think it was 17. Might have
It
been.
says it on the
Says
top there. Yeah.
Okay, yes. Sorry, I forget the dates up there. So yeah, this was SEMA 2017. So this was like, that was the first year of legit business, and it was the first I somehow got in with some guys that wanted some stuff done and was able to do some stuff at SEMA. So I actually went to SEMA that year.
So had you had like a process done for the mirrors and like,
I mean,
or were you still doing like
well,
right
so
off
I
the-
had done stuff before, like because I did all of my own stuff,
Mhm.
tested on that, and then other people had sent their stuff in, so I did their stuff as well.
Were you like smoothing the texture on the mirrors?
I
yet,
mean,
or-
it was smooth I don't remember exactly the exact process. I think I sanded the texture all the way off.
Oh, okay.
And then versus like what we do now where we do a high build primer,
Mhm.
sand that off. So it was a little bit more labor intensive. It looked like it needed to.
Yeah.
Paint matched and everything. And so yeah, this was the first thing. So 2017 would have been full time just doing lights and stuff, and it was, I mean, busy enough to keep myself busy all the time,
Mhm.
which was kind of surprising. And it
Yeah.
was really just like the way it started out and how it did was just more of that internet
Mm.
kind of networking, whether it's people on forums seeing stuff that I did or people had done. Like, oh yeah, go here, they do it. Or Instagram was huge. I remember like posting certain lights that I think I did my brother's lights at one time, posted those, and I just remember it was an older F-150, and I posted it on a page, and I had so many. That was the first time I was like, holy smokes, there's a lot of people that actually are interested
Want
in
this
this.
done?
And that was around that in 2017. So that's when I was like, okay, this could actually be legit and
Mhm.
profitable business. So yeah, that's kind of where that kind of feeds into it. So SEMA 2017 was like the first time I was like, okay, actually, people are willing to give this small business thing a shot and give me, because it was just myself doing it at the time, a shot. So this was 2017. So this next picture, this was a shop that my dad had built, I think a year or two after I started, that was able to do a lot of the installs in. So 2017 to 2019, I believe is what it was. I was working out of my dad's little shed there that I showed you, and then this bigger one, and having like customers come there to drop off their vehicles if they were local,
Mhm.
or just, essentially business was operating entirely out of those two buildings for that time. This was that F-150, I think, somewhat close to its final form before I actually sold it at some point, is what this was. But yeah, so lots of kind of just random stuff still happening in these years. This was what, 2018?
18.
Yeah, so
May.
that's about a full year into doing it is what this was. So yeah,
That's a pretty fast, like
Yeah.
from
yeah.
just figuring it out to having a process.
hmm
I feel like that's a really quick turnaround.
Yeah, the first 2 years was. So then we moved to, so like I said, first 2 years was there. I think 2019 ish. Was this 20?
That's October 13th. Yeah.
So I think beginning ish of 2019. I remember, so this is in Jerome. So it started in Jerome. Jerome, we're back in Jerome. Idaho, for those that don't know. But I remember being at that shop that my dad had and working out of that. It was just myself at the time. And I actually did hire a couple buddies, Kevin and Elijah.
Mhm.
They were just graduating high school and they worked for a time. Kevin ended up working a couple summers and stuff like that for a good bit. But those were the first two guys. I was like, okay, I kind of actually, it'd be nice to have some support here and have a guy that can just open lights or a guy that can prep stuff or something. And so that was the first employees that I had actually hired. So but it came to a point where it was like, okay, this is not this 400 square foot shop is really not gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, especially for painting purposes. So I remember I was like, okay, I wonder if I could find somebody who would paint all of our stuff for us, so that we only have to deal with just the lighting aspect of it. Which was part of me swallowing a little bit of pride at some level, because I was like, I want to do everything myself or ourselves, because it's really what we do now, and I'm glad that we do it that way. But it was like, then I got to rely on somebody else. I got to pay them what they want, all this sort of stuff. And so I remember in Jerome, I was like, I need to find somebody close so that we can just easily swap stuff. I remember in Jerome that there was an auto body shop here, and I was like, oh, I guess go to auto body shop and see what they say about painting stuff for us, whether it's lights. Obviously, we were doing mirrors, all that sort of stuff at the time. So come to this shop, and it looked way different than it does right in this picture. But I come to this shop, and there was a for rent sign on it. Oddly enough, I was like, I didn't even know that this auto body shop is not here anymore. I thought it was still an auto body shop. But yeah, so there's a for rent sign on it. I called the guy, and I was like, hey, I saw you got a for rent. Because then in my mind, I'm like, oh, there's a paint booth in here. This would be sick. This would work really well. And I was like, hey, is it available? All this sort of stuff. And then he was like, actually, I got some guy that was interested in it. And he seems pretty serious. So I think it's taken, but I'll let you know if it's not. And then I was like, shoot, that sucks, because I was actually super excited.
Perfect. Yeah.
Perfect. And then he calls me back like 2 hours later, and he was like, hey, the guy doesn't want the shop. You want it? And I was like, I just remember it being like that. That was a God thing, because it was the fact that, yeah, it was. I don't know. Like, we could have still existed and done what we had done, but
that's the next step.
Yeah, being it like this was like a very big next step of like, okay, this is legit. Have a business in town. I think rent on this place was like $1,200 a month, which was amazing. I mean, it was a leap from going to paying next to nothing, to paying that. But I was like, we could have so much more business. We can do, we're an actual legit verified address for distributors, all that sort of stuff. Exactly.
Front,
Yes, which a lot of distributors require for you to actually sell their products. So I was like, we could do wheels, we could do tires, we can do obviously paint work. We have full paint booth in here, and I actually hired another guy at the time because Kevin. Yeah, I still had Kevin, but then his name was Josh. He was actually my wife's sister's boyfriend at the time. They're married now, but anyways, I hired him, and he was I didn't really know him that well, but he seemed like a guy that actually enjoyed. He actually step back a second. He had me do some badges for him, and he had a nice F-150. I was like, oh, I wonder if he was a younger guy. So I wonder if he would, and he did. So he worked for me for a couple years. But anyways, kind of back to this spot. Yeah, I was like, he said the building's available for rent. It's $1,200 a month. I was like, cool, let's do it. And I remember telling my dad, I was like, I'm moving out of your shop. And so
not your house.
Yeah. And that was one cool like thing about my dad, is he was super supportive about everything, because if I feel like because he farms, and so he'd be like, well, why don't you want to farm? But he's super supportive and understanding about all of it. So yeah, any questions so far?
No.
I think this shop, I was like, I kind of want to do this shop that we're in now, this same exact color scheme. It looks sick.
I like the
black and gray.
Yeah, the black.
That's the plan, actually.
Like the amber lighting.
The plan is to actually paint the shop someone that color, and then we'll do the doors black. But anyway, so the building did not look like this when I first got in there. It was a hideous yellow that was peeling everywhere, and you can see the wooden door over here.
Oh yeah, the sliding one.
Literally, this door was plywood,
sheets of plywood
that slid on like a barn door style. Yeah. So this shop was, and if you talk to like Jared, he'll say the bathroom in there, it was smaller. It was probably half this room, with a toilet and a sink, and it was very much so just set there. And then it was a wall, but it was, I hate to even call it that separated it from the rest of the shop. And there was like spiders and stuff everywhere.
Nice.
So, which was actually probably good because it limited the amount of time you want to
That's true.
spend in the bathroom,
That's
which is
true.
probably what we should do now.
You just need to throw some spiders in there.
Yes. So anyways, but it works super well. This is only one part of the building. There's another part to the left here that is actually where the paint booth and where we did the lighting and all that sort of stuff. It worked super well. It was annoying to walk back and forth between the two shops, that's for sure. But this bay where the glass door is where the main bay was, where we did all the installs, and then same with the other one on the far side. And then that front door there was just had a little front entryway. So
Mhm.
it was a small shop, but it worked pretty well, and it's literally right on the main street in Jerome. We didn't get a ton of local business, which we still don't, just because of the nature of what we do. A lot of people came in asking if it was still a body shop, and it was like, nope, it's not a body shop. Technically, yes, but no, we don't do body work. So anyway, so yes, this would have been 20. Oh, what is this? 2019
Mhm.
into it would have moved into 22, which we'll get to. But yeah, it worked really well. I mean, this is where we actually started to continue to do more, and then we added a whole bunch of services, lift kits. I put a post lift in here. We did lift kits. Hired another guy, Jason, at that some point during here, and he did the lift kits and stuff like that, and random installs, and then still did lots of lighting and paint match stuff, all that. So, yeah, it worked really well for what it was. So, any questions?
Nope.
Okay. Where is this still good, or is it?
Yeah.
Am I
No, we're
boring?
good.
Am I boring
No, yeah.
people? So
We're invested.
yeah. So I like the look of the shop. Okay.
I do too. I
Let's
like
see.
the
Yeah.
sign. The sign
still
is
have
like
that
an
sign?
old. Yeah.
The sign's out.
Yeah.
Yep,
I
it's
like
out there.
the old metal vibes.
Yeah.
It looks good.
So that, like I said, this would have been, and again, we were, just to continue to ramp up what we were doing, how much we were doing. I hired Jared some point while we were at the shop. He started working because this was during COVID and he didn't go back to school. So he's like, hey, I need a job. And I was like, all right, you can come paint. And then Jose hired him at one point during when we were at the shop. Had another guy, just a random story. He kind of walked in off the street and he's like, hey man, I'm a painter. I'm from LA. Yeah, can I have a job?
Really?
And it was actually at a point in time where I was like, I kind of need because I was doing all the painting
Yeah.
still. And I was like, I kind of need a painter. And I was like, oh, we can give it a shot and see how it goes. So I hired this guy for like 2 weeks. He spent so long on like singular projects, and then spent a lot of money in paint products.
Oh, yeah.
And just I remember telling him after the 2 weeks, I was like, all right, thank you for trying it out. I think I'm gonna go a different route. And he was pretty devastated and not very happy with me.
From LA, huh?
He's like, yeah, from LA. My uncle lives here. And I was like,
That's wild.
anyways, if you ask Jose about him, he'll remember because Jose was working here at the time.
That's funny.
So, anyways, it was fun times to be had in that shop. So, moving on. Let me see here. Gotta make sure we're still okay. So, about the time of what was this? 20? Was that 22?
Yeah, 20. No, it says 20.
Oh, 2020.
Yeah.
Okay. So we really weren't in Jerome for too terribly long. We do have a bad track record of moving shops often, but I think most of it's for good, reason.
They're all upgrades, I would say.
This one, okay, so this one was in the picture for a very short period of time. It was in Twin, so it moved Twin Falls. So if you're not familiar with the area, Twin Falls is like a 15-minute drive from here, and it's like the bigger city connected to Jerome. And it was like I was first, I guess
I feel like you were in this earlier than 2020.
It was about that time.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So this was a leap because it was large.
Yeah.
And so this is the inside of it. I don't know. I just took a picture of this at some point. Gosh dang, this thing keeps freezing. This was the inside of it here. And it was big. So, I think it was like 6,000 square feet of just pure shop space in this section alone. Which It's like where this door is and all this. It used to be an old bean factory, is what it was, or like bean processing place. And it was a leap because it was like you go from spending $1,200 a month to like almost, I think it was almost 4,000 a month. And this was a Duramax I had at the time, which I kind of miss still. But yeah, it was a leap, but I was like, okay, we need a little bit more space. It'd be nice if it was all connected because the other shop worked well, but we were kind of again outgrowing that a little bit. So moved into this and did a whole bunch of renovation. I think we had to build a room for lighting and such. And it was kind of creepy. Like there was an upstairs here with a whole bunch of stuff. You have to ask Jared about it. It was a super cool shop to play sports in because it was so wide open.
This is the shop where I helped Elijah build the paint room.
Yeah. So there was a weird like crane room that we're like, I guess we'll make this the paint booth. And yeah, so anyways, this was very short lived. We were in this for like 4 months. And the landlord was like, we're gonna use it for one of our own businesses.
Which is kind of crazy that a landlord can do that.
Yeah, it was whatever. So moved out of this one, and then we moved into the one which we were in for quite a while, which was One and Twin, which you guys both kind of know. And that would have been 2021 January-ish of it. And somehow this just happened to be open. At the time when they were like, hey, you need to find out a place in a month and get out, I was stressed because I was like, I don't know where, like, do I go back to my dad's shop?
Oh, that would have sucked.
I know. I was
like, all your employees.
Yeah, I was like, do I go back to my dad's shop? Because there was nothing available that I could find that was not feasible.
Yeah.
And came up on this, and I saw that it was empty. Didn't even have a rent sign on it. But I somehow got the contact for the guy that owned it. He was out of Idaho Falls, and I said, hey, I need a building pretty much right now. Is this one available? And he's like, kind of, I guess, yeah. We could probably work something out. So I think he was maybe going to use it for their own kind of investment sort of a thing. But come to find out, yeah, it was available. It used to be a boat dealership, is what it was. It's in Twin Falls still, in a pretty good spot. And it was a very solid shop, like nice, good size.
Like half a mile from the other shop.
Yes, yeah, it was right down the road. So it was nice. It worked super well for what we needed. I'll show you, like, this area right here is where we did all the lighting. I'm gonna reset this again. This area is where we did all the lighting. This was all bare, but we literally built this in there. Had another paint booth back here, all the shelves, all the workbenches, and so it worked really, really well for what we needed it for. And then this other space here is where, have all the trucks. So a lot of it, like,
right through that door is the
yeah, right through that door over there. A lot of like our YouTube videos and stuff that we have are in this shop, and pictures that are taken outside that we use a lot of. So this would have been 20.
Pointed to the door and they can't even see where.
I put my cursor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's another part of the shop too. Okay, so yeah, this is the outside. This was like the final form of what it was. Good size shop, and it worked really well for us. But then so like this was where we actually started doing a lot of like dealership work. Some point, yeah, Kenny, you came, started working, and so
amateur.
Really,
just kidding. That's the first shop I technically started working.
Yeah, this was. So yeah, again, we continue to kind of ramp up more and more what we did and do, and like I said, started to do dealership work, full on color matches, more so, all that sort of stuff, and yeah, just kind of continued to scale it from there. At this shop in particular, and we were there for 3 years, I think. That's what it ended up being. And then what was it? Probably
it was like October.
Yeah, 24 of 24. Yeah. It was like this, well, actually where we're in now, came available, and it was for sale actually. And so I presented my dad and my brothers, because they farm right up against it. I was like, hey, you guys should buy this as an investment property. Maybe we could work something out together. So it ended up working out. Bought the property and the shop that's on it, which has a lot of history in and of itself, which we kind of gone over a little bit. But it works for what we need it for now, and we've adapted to it. I think in the beginning it was going from, I don't have a picture of the outside yet because we have not painted it, but yeah, soon we're gonna paint it this summer is the plan. So we'll stay tuned for a better picture of it. But yeah, I think that's kind of from, and I mean, obviously, all the work that we do obviously isn't entailed in that, and there's a lot of other details within the 10 years of business. But as far as like where it started from, what it kind of grew out of, and then like where we were at, just location wise, and what we're doing. I mean, now we sell stuff to people all over the world. Really, people all over the world buy stuff off our website. We do full builds for people really anywhere, as long as they're willing to bring us their truck. And yeah, so kind of in my mind, I mean, it's crazy in a lot of ways, and also too, like, definitely a God thing where it's like, yeah, it only succeeded because he intervened in a lot of ways.
Yeah, well, the fact that all the shops and properties opened up exactly when you needed them to.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. And it's been, it's fun, and it's been a cool almost 10 years of doing this. So anyways, yeah, that's kind of, I think, the basics of where it is. Like I said, there's lots of other small details in that. And then like even where we're at now is we've been in here for a year and a half now, and I guess we'll keep going. We continue to add different things, whether it's powder coating that we're trying to get into, peel clear, PPF, window tint. We started doing that in this shop on the picture they just showed. And yeah, lots of other things. I mean, trying to diversify as much as possible while still providing quality stuff. I mean, we have our core of what we do, right? Lighting, color matches, I mean, even some custom installs for local people. And that's what we're good at and what people kind of know us to be good at. And the other stuff as well. I mean, I think easy to grow out of and continue to keep building on some of that. So, yeah. Any questions? Any thoughts?
No, it's a cool history lesson.
Yeah. There's probably, like I said, there's probably some other stuff. There's lots of stories, lots of ups and downs for sure within business as it is. Some really good times, some not so good times. Lots of customers, which is awesome. I mean, I think even just the fact that we've been able to, like, you could go to anywhere, specifically in the United States, and you might see something that we did is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably won't, but like the fact that it could, like, you go to Texas and you'd be like, oh, I wonder if we did those headlights, that sort of thing. It's kind of cool. And
well, we got some in Hawaii and New York and all over.
People in the Middle East buy our harnesses.
Yep.
Got headlights out of a dealership in Maryland.
Yeah. Yep. Lots of stuff. I had a guy, like I was telling you yesterday, he emailed me. He's from Australia. He's wondering about something.
Yep. Come get his truck.
Drive it back.
So, like, that's cool. And then even just doing YouTube stuff and people being able to see us on there, and they're in another country, be like, oh, cool, thanks for. So, like, just the fact that people in that parts of the world, even whether they know who we are or not, it's like the fact that you kind of see our stuff is
helping people out.
Cool. So, yeah, we'll continue to grow and build on as much as we can, and keep the main things in focus of, like, it's a weird duality of, like, business and also being a citizen of the kingdom of God, of like how much, when does ambition become greed and that sort of stuff, which I think in the very beginning I would say it was kind of greedy, of like a time is money sort of mindset, which is true. I just don't know that I personally agree with that mindset of, like, just work as hard as you can at all expenses because you are making money. I think there's a little bit more to life than that.
Well, I feel like if you're trying to start a business, I feel like you have to have a little bit of that.
Yeah.
I need to put in the grind.
For sure. Yeah. I think, yes, we are called to work well. Like who we are in Jesus, we are called to use our abilities well, and we've been gifted abilities, right? And so I think there's definitely a part in like stewarding a business well, you know, being a boss or an employee and doing that well, and like everything we do is for the glory of God, right? And so, yeah, I just like it's hard. Capitalism and the kingdom of God are sometimes at odds with each other in a lot of ways in my mind, and so it's like it's capitalism. It is for sure, and it works really well. The system of capitalism and entrepreneurship and stuff. But yes, there's a balance of okay, what is when should you exercise wisdom,
Mm-hmm.
you know, in certain areas, and
It's where your priorities are at.
Yeah.
What is the most important between the two?
Right. Exactly.
And do you use the one to better the other?
Yeah. Yep. That's one of the things. Like if we lost Precision Retrofits tomorrow, okay, like that's not the end of the world. That's not like yeah.
Are you just telling us something?
No.
I need to start looking.
Yeah. No.
Cut it down.
Yeah.
You're just gonna retire.
No, I'm shutting it down tomorrow.
her
I'm
down.
shutting Precision Retrofits down tomorrow.
Mm.
No, but I'm just saying, like, if it comes to that, and it's like God's like, you got other things to do. I'm like, okay, like what we do and what Precision Retrofits is, I'm glad we do, and I'm glad we get to serve the people we do, and we get to work together, like all that sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, like we have greater goals in mind, right? We are our what we're living for is eternal, and all of this is temporary. And so, while it's fun, I think we're supposed to subdue it well and steward stuff well. I think that's, for me, that's been a shift of mindset over the past few years, especially in owning a business, of just, keeping the big things big, small things small, that sort of thing, you know.
My father-in-law is kind of in the same position because he does the same thing. I think you do a very good job of it, but like also my father-in-law does the same thing, like balancing growing his business and pursuing his business, but also keeping a heavenly mindset of like this stuff is just material, and so it's like being closer to two people that I've seen be able to do that that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
but
cool. Yeah, no, it's fun. It's a fun ride, and we'll keep it going, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. Well, I think that does it for our history of it. Hopefully it was informative and at least insightful, and just kind of, just see I always think business stories and how they start and how they continue to go and is interesting, and like how people operate within that. So I find that interesting personally. So anyways, any other thoughts, Evan?
Nope. It's good.
Okay.
I'm glad to be part of it.
Okay. Well, we're going to wrap it up and get to work. Knock some projects out, go finish what we need to finish, and we appreciate you guys listening. We will maybe next week. That's the fun thing about the podcast is we don't have to do it next week.
That's true.
We can do it in 3 weeks if we want.
True.
So just we'll keep you on your toes.
Just turn your notifications on.
Exact. There you go. Subscribe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Subscribe.
Share this podcast with somebody else that needs it, because somebody else definitely needs it.
Yep.
Okay. So share it, subscribe, and we appreciate you listening. We will see you on our next episode, whenever that is. Goodbye.